What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. We got a simple install today. It's not necessarily plug and play, but I've kind of already thought about it. I know exactly how I want to do it, and it's kind of the racer cheap way to do it. So we're going to be installing a new cooling fan. Summit Racing sent us out a Spal fan, and then I got a shroud from eBay that I think is going to fit. So let's check that out. Let's get right into it. Okay, so before we move into the install, I want to do a comparison really quick between the two fans. So as you see here, I have two fans. They're two 12-inch and they're supposed to be 1200 CFM per fan. And we'll check to see how accurate they are. And then now we have this huge 16-inch, I believe it's a little over 2000 CFMs. And that should be plenty between this fan and then what we're going to do for the airflow. I'm going to do duct in the windows. We're just not going to do that on this video. That'll be a future video to come, but we're going to test the difference before we do the install of just the Spal fan, which we know is going to work great. So I already got this tool. It's a aerometer, and it's going to test how much CFM the old fans will produce versus the new fan. So let's check that out. All right, so now we're going to test it. Let me turn on the fans really quick. It's really simple. To test it, you basically would take the tool and you would apply it through, put it in here. I don't know if you can see that number, but it's definitely not 1200. So that one's also not consistent. So it's 663 now. All right, so that's actually showing 1,000. Okay, so that's kind of all over the place. Test this one now. You won't be able to see this one, but so this one's actually putting 1067. All right, so it's not very hard to pull the fans out, but I know we have to remove this and then move these two out of the way. They're held in by zip ties to have a quick removal, so that should be easy. So we're gonna go ahead and get that done now. This is the fan shroud that's going to go on the back of the radiator. It's not made for this specific fan, but it's made for a 16-inch fan. And how I pretty much got these dimensions, because this is from eBay. So the radiator itself, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 22 and some change, maybe like 22 and a half, and 22 and a half by 18 and a half, something like that. That's what the core is. So I just had to get something that would fit inside the core. So I just kind of put the specs in on eBay, and then that's why I found this. So if there's still a link, I'll put it in the description. All it is, it's open inside. The fan goes here and has like a pulling effect, I guess, towards, it'll sit just like this. I don't know, but that's how they're all pretty much made, I guess. I don't know, first fan shroud I've ever done. So I've already have it outlined, and then with this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I have it lined. I don't have a marker, so I have to use pen, and then it's pretty much already outlined. The only difference is when I'm going to cut this out, I have to leave a gap. So it has to be maybe a little less than that, and I'll show you why. So I traced the edges out of the complete fan, but if I cut along where the edges are, then I'm not gonna have anywhere to strap the actual fan to the shroud. So what I'm gonna do is, well, the reason why, if I tell you, because basically if I cut out here, I can't bolt this down. So what I will do, I'm gonna take, sorry about that, I'm gonna take my old fan and go that way, and I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it, just so I can keep the circle kind of together, and then just go around and just pretty much eyeball it. So I don't think you'll be able to see the second line, maybe not, I don't know, but the line, it just traces it all the way around. I can see it enough to cut it, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, and then we'll move to the next stage of the video. Okay, so I didn't get to finish the shroud last night, and I actually took it to work with me to kind of finish it there when I was gonna have some free time. I'm gonna post a picture of what it looks like now. So the only reason it looks like this is because whenever I was cutting the inside of the shroud out, my blade broke. Okay, so with that breaking, I had to figure out a way to still do it because I was so determined to finish it last night, and I still didn't get to finish it. So I took a step drill and I drilled a whole bunch of holes in where I was gonna cut out the actual middle piece of the shroud, and I took some shears, like what you would cut tin with, and I just went around cutting them, and then a grinder to like smooth it all out. So this is the picture that shows you that it's completely smooth. It doesn't look like that anymore, and it just takes a few extra steps. I didn't have to go buy anything. I've already had the grinder, and I already had the shears because I was using that on something else I was doing, I believe the firewall. So that worked out pretty great, and this is kind of where we're at right now. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how I'm going to fix the fan to the shroud. Basically, we're gonna have a zip tie that's gonna hold it here, and I'm also gonna drill a second hole here. So you'll have one hole here, one there, and that's gonna hold the zip tie, and I'm gonna repeat that here, here, as well as right there. So a lot of people may be asking, why would I zip tie it versus bolting it down? Zip tie makes it for a faster replacement if I have to replace a fan during competition, because we can call a timeout to where, I guess it's called, I think it's called a timeout, I don't know, but we can call 5 minutes and we can work on the car. So everything has to be super efficient and able to be done in a timely manner, because we have to get back on track. If not, we forfeit that spot. So just to give you a description, let's say if we did bolt this down to the shroud, then once the shroud is fixed to the radiator, then I have to unbolt the shroud just to unbolt the fan. And that's gonna be twice, if not 3 times as much times as literally me just taking like a razor and cutting the 4 zip ties. Fan pops off, unplug the fan, put a new one on, 4 more new zip ties, plug in, and you're go. Like, I literally probably can do that at the track within like a minute and a half. Like, it literally would take that long. You do the bolting scenario, you're looking at twice that, and we only get 5 minutes. So it just has to be very efficient, and I think that's going to work for us. I've always zip tied it, and we always check them before the round. We do a night check, and then we also do a check when we have a checklist when we're at the track. So it's just about being efficient. So let's go ahead and get this fixture, or get the fan bolted to the shroud, or zip tied to the shroud, and then the shroud fixed to the radiator. So check that out. Okay, so I have not turned this on. I was just checking the wiring. We should be good to go. So hopefully it's in the pull, because some of these fans have reverse polarity, I think it is. So if you can switch it, it becomes a pusher fan or a puller fan, depending on your setup. So it should be in the pull mode. We're gonna hope and see. I got the aerometer, so let me turn it on and let's see what it reads. Okay, so we didn't get that 2000 CFM number that we were looking for, but on the positive side, I did figure out why. I do have to rewire some of the things that I did, and we should be able to achieve that, but I'm not gonna do that today. We've come to a stopping point, but other than that, the fan is installed, the shroud is installed, and we should be good to go. So I do appreciate everyone for watching this video. The next video should be up shortly, and I'll see you in that. Peace.